Okay, so we have pretty much a brand new Upmind instance here. All that we've done in the couple of previous examples in this playlist is we've added a custom domain. So by default, Upmind comes with a temporary URL, something like blah blah 123.upmind.app. What we did in the previous video is we added a custom domain. We did that under settings, domains. This custom domain is billing.dilemos. You can see that's the one that's now being used. Apart from that, nothing's been touched. What I want to show you in this video is the really simple first steps that we recommend you take before you dive in and start using Upmind. Those steps, there's 3 of them, that's it. And basically they consist of getting your brand currency set up properly, adding your business details, and adding your tax settings. These are things that's much easier to do right at the start rather than later. Before I do that, just one quick thing to show you. If you need help from us at any point, click here, click My Account. This is where you enter your account details with us. It's where, for example, you set up your own 2-factor authentication. Click My Upmind Account, click Tickets. Here, you can create a ticket with us, and we'll come back to you pretty quickly. Now, this initial setup, as I said, 3 things. This settings menu, there's a lot of different options here. There's a lot of configuration. We will come back to this in later videos. Some of it you probably never need to touch. Some of it is quite edge. Lots of it you'll find very useful, but Upmind's very powerful software. And so we'll only cover the really important things right now. So to start with, brand settings. Brand is look and feel. I've given this an example name, but I'm going to create in this series of playlists a web hosting company. So let's call this Dilemos Web Hosting. I'm going to leave English as the language default. That can be changed. We're actually rolling out more and more languages at the moment. I'll set my default color to green, and I'm going to upload a custom logo, a custom favicon. You can see this changes immediately. Next, I want to go down to business settings. Business settings is where I set my default currency and my store address. I've already pre-filled my store address and phone number with junk data. This is important because it goes on invoices. Now, store currency is probably the most important thing we set here, because when we create our first invoice or payment, this can't be changed. Even though Upmind is completely multi-currency, your customers could pay in, say, Australian dollars, but they could be invoiced in Indian rupees. You could have an affiliate balance in euros. All the reporting we do is in the default store currency. So if we're giving you, for example, a monthly recurring revenue stat, or reporting on how much you've taken that month, is going to be set to the currency that's defined here. And we can still change this because I've not invoiced anyone yet. But for example, if I went to my dashboard, you'd now see that this is in dollars, whereas if it was set to pounds, it would be set to pounds. Okay, so we've got brand settings, it's important, business settings is important. The next one, tax settings. Tax settings defines whether you want to charge VAT, what those VAT rates are. What you're seeing in this screen is the current version of the VAT tax controls. This is just about to be changed to a much more advanced set of tax controls, which allow for multi-layered tax and GST billing and so on. But the principle is the same, and on this screen is where you configure it. You'd set whether you're VAT registered or not. You'd add your tax numbers. You'd define whether you want your prices that you add, and when you modify prices, for them to those prices to exclude the tax or to include the tax by default. So for example, if I'd set a price to $100 here and the tax rate is 20%, at the moment, the price to the customer is going to be 100 plus tax. So 100 plus $20 would be $120. Or if I set it to include, it would then be 100 including the tax, which is approximately $86. It's an important one to set right. Business type defines how the tax is calculated, so you just want to make sure you're set correctly. For example, hosting would be virtual services. That, to be honest, are the only things that we recommend that you change and configure before you start jumping in, adding payment gateways, adding products, and adding clients. In the next video, we're ready to crack on with doing that.